Hey yo, pack a dope, crack a beer, Wally and Troma is here. Suspend Disbelief podcast, we all up in your ear. We're making these moves and they plan of execution. So we the crew, of versus undisputed. So shout out to the OGs, not new fans. Talking that A to the Z and the E. NXT, giving you Japan in the scene on lock. Holding the street, come but sit back, relax. Suspend Disbelief, brother. Hey yo, pack a dope, crack a beer.
Hello and welcome to the Suspend Disbelief podcast. My name is Wally. I'm here with Troma and Future Shock.
All right, you got it right today.
Got it right this time. Awesome.
Yeah, I know. It took me a second.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome. How you gentlemen doing today?
Doing good. How y'all doing?
It's been a long weekend. But
it has.
It was a long WrestleMania.
That's true. 7 hours.
This is the guy that 7.5 hours. This is the guy last week that said, I asked if you want a WrestleMania to be all day. He said, yeah, maybe.
Who? Him? Me?
You.
Oh yeah, maybe.
They were talking about wanting to do it 2 days next year, so making it a 2-day event. I don't know about that.
Woo. I don't think that'll ever happen.
Well, it kind of is already a 2-day event, really. It's a 3-day event if you think about Hall of Fame.
It's a 5-day event if you count Raw and SmackDown.
True.
They got Takeover going on. They've got all these other shows going on. It's like a week-long affair. Legit.
Yeah. Apparently, that's how it was when they came down to Dallas, Texas, or Arlington, Texas, rather. That's where it actually really was. But yeah, like that whole week that, you know, all the city streets were just plastered with WrestleMania shit up and down and shit for like that whole week. Yeah, it's like a whole week event and shit, like the Super Bowl is or any other big major event. It's
crazy to think about. I mean, the 2 WrestleManias I went to, it was like 3 shows. There was 2 ROH shows and there was WrestleMania, and that was it. They ran, if you count every event that ran, there was almost 40 events that ran in that weekend alone. So it's crazy how far it's come.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yo, Wally, do me a favor, Wally. Yeah. Will you unblur your screen? It's very distracting.
Sure, but you're okay.
Thank you, sir.
In case the audience is wondering, he's blurring our screen.
On my screen, on Skype. Just on
the screen that we see. Just to upset Troma.
That's the kind of friend he is right there. All right, gentlemen. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into this. Well, I say that after we already wasted time, but the kickoff show. Did anybody watch the kickoff show?
I did. I was able to watch it.
Yeah, you actually watched the kickoff show, Wally?
Yes, I did.
Well, it was on. I didn't watch it. I heard it. I more of like heard it. I heard that Ryder and Hawkins they won the tag team championship.
Yeah, they did. We'll get there. Let's go through it real quick. No, it's okay, man. You're the host. Don't let me interrupt.
It's my show.
Opening was Tony Nese versus Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah, the match that Wally swore was going to be on the main show.
So I was wrong. So go ahead and bring that up. So.
No, I mean, hey, we might as well start at a high point.
Okay. So yeah, it was a good match.
I thought it was an awesome match. I thought it was a really good opener for the pre-show. The crowd for the people that were there, for the 70% that were there.
It was surprisingly full. I mean, it's a lot fuller than I've seen past WrestleManias. I remember one year where I think it was Miz and Wade Barrett for the IC title was on the pre-show, and there was nobody in the crowd. Like here, there was
honestly, it was the last time they did an outdoor event was at the pre-show. It was damn near half empty, almost over half empty, and you can blatantly see it. This year, like you said, it was really, really full. There were some spots you could tell that people were still kind of filling in and shit, but for the most part, quite a few people there, and a lot of them were into that match. You got them kind of hyped up, and I agree. I thought it was a really good opening match, for the pre-show at least.
Surprise title change, so we all think Buddy's moving up, right? That's why you take the belt off of him. He's going to Raw. Most likely, he's going to SmackDown.
I hope so. I really don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't been keeping up too much with 205. But yeah.
Well, he's been like the dominant champion. They built the whole brand around him, and so I think they're definitely going to make a move, kind of like they did with Mustafa Ali. The shakeups next week, so everything's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to start happening right now. But yeah, we can move on. Women's Battle Royal. No real surprises besides the winner, Carmella.
Who did I call? Who did I say was going to win this Battle Royal?
Did you pick Carmella?
I did pick Carmella, motherfucker. You didn't
what
remember?
Did you just, why? Like,
because
why
I love Carmella.
But like, just because you loved her, you had like no like reasoning, be like, I think she's gonna, because they're not pushing her. I mean, I thought it had to be Asuka here, but
no, I picked Carmella.
Yeah, I was for sure like thinking that it was going to be Asuka. It's like, okay, they took the title off her. They'll pay her back by having her win the Battle Royal at WrestleMania.
Did you catch that troll job? Vince McMahon's like the king of trolls. Look at Naomi's been bitching about her spot and her role. So she's like one of the only two that actually gets an entrance for this thing. Yeah. So you're like, oh, maybe she's gonna do something, and then she's like, what, the first or second one out? So I thought that was
eliminated by like who did she get eliminated by? Like
someone not important. Yeah. I don't even remember, but
I don't even remember.
That is like classic Vince McMahon trolling right there. We had the tag title match you spoke of. What do you think about this? I mean, you like this? Can you defend this, Wally?
I think that what it is kind of almost punishing the Revival, kind of almost by not even giving them a WrestleMania spot, and then on top of that, they lose their belts at like the pre-show of WrestleMania. But it's who they lose it to. They lose it to fucking Ryder and Hawkins, who are pretty much, you know, how many times they
not only that, but they got pinned
streak
by the guy with the fucking longest losing streak.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So how did they get this shot in the first place, you know?
Right. Like I'm saying, it's a punishment. You know, they're pretty much being punished for anything to do with AEW. And then, like, did you hear that not only being the only shot, but like I feel like during the Hall of Fame, they took a shot at Billy Gunn for being associated with AEW and All In.
Yeah, they took a lot of shots, but we'll get to the Hall of Fame. Calm down, sir.
Come on, man. Why you gotta hold me back like that?
In my opinion, we won't have nothing to talk about.
All right, go ahead.
In my opinion, I think it was kind of like a double shit sword, kind of, because you know you had the Revival, which in my opinion, I agree with you, Adam. I think they were getting kind of punished, and secondly, I thought it was kind of a wasted thing having Hawkins, beat the losing streak that way. Like I had this kind of cool fantasy booking of him like getting like a freak win on somebody like a Brock Lesnar for like the title or something, but yeah, he would lose it, the next night or some bullshit. But like, I just think that was kind of like wasted. That could have been a way better payoff, but I don't know. That's just my opinion.
So you didn't like him ending the streak at WrestleMania over the Revival, but you wanted him to pin Brock Lesnar for the fucking world title. Yeah. That was your fantasy book. This is why you're not coming to the WWE with us, bro. This is why when we leave, you're going to take this show over and have to find a new host.
I am.
All right, Andre the Giant Battle Royal, Strowman won. Like, not really, no surprises, kind of a week, I thought. The coolest thing I thought was, Ali almost dying again. Can someone calm this boy down? Man. Like, every time he wrestles, he almost dies. I mean, I'm sure Kofi Kingston appreciates, him almost dying, but, his career is not going to be long if he keeps doing this.
It wasn't as bad. It wasn't bad enough that he almost broke his neck on the fall, but then he whipped back around and smacked his face on the fucking the corner of the announce table. It's like, god damn, shit. Andy got eliminated.
This is like, Luke Harper's big return, and he almost kills the poor guy.
Yeah.
So Braun won. I don't know. I guess he had to win, but I mean, it was weak.
With the whole thing with the two hosts from Saturday Night Live, the whole thing, I feel like they could have been. They could have been used or involved so much. Like, I don't know. I just hated the way it was.
I don't know.
They wasted the whole celebrity thing.
I don't know. In my opinion, I wish they weren't there to begin with.
Exactly.
But since they were there, I am happy with what they did with them. They just had them go under the ring and pretty much stay out of the entire match until the very end. And then at the very end, they had their shit kicked out of them. Had them thrown out by Braun Strowman in fucking convincing fashion. And I think that's about the best you could have done with that scenario, in my opinion.
Sure.
Yeah. Really kind of nothing pre-show to me. We can get right into the main show. So we had the whole Alexa Bliss came out as the host. I thought she was very underutilized. I don't think they did anything with her. I think the hosting gimmick ran its course. There was nothing really. The big surprise was go ahead.
Well, in the last I heard that she's actually okay, that she's actually cleared to wrestle. She's actually been practicing in the ring and everything. And they just been kind of utilizing her backstage and utilizing her mic skills more for some reason. I don't know why. I guess they just
she's good. I can see it, but I mean, WrestleMania doesn't need a host.
So. No, not a host. And I was kind of bummed not to see Alexa Bliss inside that ring at WrestleMania because she's like one of my favorite female competitors. So.
I think with Alexa Bliss, they made her look like a bitch. Not a bitch, but they made her look very weak with Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey made her look like that she wasn't even in the same league as Ronda. It's just
you mean when Ronda squashed her last time?
It just wouldn't make sense for her to be kind of even on the card. Maybe like if she was doing the tag team thing, but she really doesn't.
Yeah, but then again, on the other side of the coin, at that time, Ronda was still kind of on her comeuppance. She still needed, she needed somebody strong to squash, and at that time, Alexa Bliss was one of the strongest, you could. So I kind of see why they did what they did. But I agree with you in a lot of ways. I think it did kind of hurt her, and she hasn't really been the same since.
Yeah, she just got
obviously,
back. She just got back, and she just hasn't really. I feel like they put her in that role just because to have her doing something at WrestleMania.
Yeah, just to have her on TV. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't blame them.
We started with Hogan returning. Any thoughts on Hogan? Just WrestleMania surprise.
It was the same thing.
I'm very surprised
that they did at what was it? The Greatest Royal Rumble. It was the same exact shtick, same promo.
I'm just surprised they brought out Hogan to start off WrestleMania. They brought out Hogan almost just because. Everything that went on with him, and then kind of they took him off of the website and all that, and now he's just back with the company, and it seems like.
Did you hear that crowd? No one seemed to care.
Well, no one seemed to care. So. The first thing I thought, I was like, wow. I thought, holy shit, really? They don't give a fuck.
Whoa.
On this night too with the Kofi storyline. Yeah.
Whoa, can we back up for a second? That just reminded me. I totally forgot about it. During the women's battle royal in the pre-show, was it just me, or was Dana Brooke the most over woman in that fucking
everyone was chanting for her, but
that was nuts.
Isn't she? She's from there, isn't she?
I
don't see why else anyone would be chanting for Dana Brooke.
Anyway, that just blew my fucking mind. But anyway, as we were.
All right, so then I love this, by the way. I loved Paul Heyman coming out
was awesome.
with Hogan's music still playing. Paul Heyman comes strutting out, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? For a second, I thought Brock Lesnar was going to come out and murder Hulk Hogan, and I got really excited for a second, he's going to F5 the fuck out of Hulk Hogan, and I'm like, all right, he didn't, but I like how they played it off. Brock is a star. He shouldn't, if he's not going to main event, he shouldn't have to sit around for 7 hours. So, he's like, I'm going to do my match. I'm going to get my money. I'm fucking out of here, So, yeah, I like how they did that.
Yeah, it made sense.
I also like that they didn't just go right to the match and have Seth just squash him. They let Brock fuck him up pre-bell, so when Seth did come back, it actually meant something, because if Seth just went in, smashed him, I don't think it would mean as much as the fact that he had to fight off of, the pre-match attack, getting his ass beat, and then he came back and won. I mean, I thought it was the right move. I'm shocked they did it.
I also love the storytelling with the low blow, from the previous Raw. I really love that storytelling that they did there. It was really, really put together very, very well. I think it was a perfect opening to the show. It got the people really fucking hyped, got me hyped as hell. And I also was the one that got the prediction right. So Troma, you should have went with me, instead of Adam this time.
Yeah, I was kind of heartbroken that they took the belt off Brock finally, and it's sad that we're not going to be seeing. I hope we're going to be seeing Brock on WWE TV soon, but it doesn't look like that. So
I think they left it open-ended. They left it where Paul Heyman can say you couldn't have beat him without the low blow. You had to cheat. They left that open, and they got those Saudi Arabia shows coming up. Vince is going to need a Brock Lesnar to help sell those shows. So I think definitely at least a couple more appearances he's going to be making. He may not be the featured guy or anything, but I definitely don't think this is the end of Brock Lesnar, especially if he goes to UFC, gets smashed by Cormier. He's going to want that steady check again, and he's going to call up Vince, and he'll be back. We got AJ and Randy Orton.
This match was cool. It was all right. It was nothing special, really. Nothing special. I felt like it felt like a SmackDown main event. Really. AJ Styles won, and the end was cool. But how many wins is that for AJ Styles now at WrestleMania? Is he 3-0 at WrestleMania?
Yeah, he is. There was Shane. Was Shane his first? No, he might be 4-0. Didn't he have a match? I know he beat Shane. He beat Orton. He beat Shinsuke. I'm not sure if he had a match at the Mania the year before.
I think it's 3-0. I think.
Yeah, he's definitely 3-0. I was very disappointed. I thought this could be potentially a show stealer. I think I'm more disappointed in Randy Orton. I feel like Orton's just he's not really going all out anymore. I feel like a lot of his recent feuds have been very subpar. AJ, he can take some nights off, but I mean, usually with the right opponent, he'll go all out and deliver. And I think that it was just a bad combination with but I do think that it's significant that AJ got to kick out of the RKO, because nobody kicks out of the RKO. I thought that was pretty cool, but I thought maybe he should have had to pull out a Styles Clash or something big to win. I don't think the forearm is a good finish, a springboard forearm. I think that's a very weak finish, especially for a guy like Orton. But
yeah, I always thought it was really weird ever since he came into the WWE that he was using one of his, moves, just regular moves that he used to do, that most guys I've seen do.
Well, because
just a regular move as a finish.
The Styles Clash is the way you take the Styles Clash. You don't tuck your chin, right? Like
you gotta hold your head back. Yeah, I understand.
He has broken 2 necks in Japan with that move, so
I can understand why they don't want him using it. It's a dangerous maneuver. What a maneuver, So
no, I get that.
So the first real highlight of the show for me was next. I thought the SmackDown title 4-way. Thought this was excellent. What are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, I thought it was really good too. I thought it was definitely
tag match.
The SmackDown tag title 4-way.
Usos?
Usos, Alistair and Ricochet, Rusev and Nakamura, and The Bar.
Yeah,
yep. It was definitely top 3 matches of the night. Easy.
Really?
Easy.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I believe so. I mean, obviously the man of that match was fucking Ricochet. He was awesome in that fucking match. That save he got himself out of that tower of fucking doom.
Right.
That shit was fucking awesome, man. Did
you guys notice that not one time the crowd chanted "This is awesome"?
Was that they only chanted once the whole night?
They didn't chant it at all.
They didn't?
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, they didn't chant that at all night. This is awesome. No.
This was not a big wrestling heavy kind of show. I mean, there wasn't a ton of great wrestling on this show. I mean, they had its
there was some
spots.
there was some cool moments. There was some cool spots. There was a lot of really good booking.
It was
Really
not Takeover though, where match quality was king. You know.
Yeah. The big report coming out of WrestleMania, people weren't talking about, the booking, any of who won or who lost. Everybody was talking about one thing, and how long the show was. The show was really fucking long. There's stories that there were still thousands of people waiting in Uber lines.
We'll get into all that after the show's over. Usos retain. I thought they should have went with Black and Ricochet here. I mean, basically they were undefeated. They were red hot. Then they come into this weekend and they lost every title opportunity they had. They lost the chance for the Raw belts. Then they lost the NXT title match. Then they lost here. I mean, I think that really damaged them. I don't know why you make a team go undefeated, protect them, and then WrestleMania weekend they lose 3 in a row.
I'd rather see them on doing their singles career, both of them.
I think that's what they might be going for.
I don't think Aleister Black is a good fit with Ricochet at all. Maybe Aleister Black and Bray Wyatt, who I think
one of them's turning. Because the way they kind of they did the match at Takeover and the way they did the match at WrestleMania, they kind of made it seem like Ricochet kind of fucked it up for Aleister Black, especially at Takeover. If you go back and watch that match again, you can almost see Black almost seems like a little frustrated and shit. So I don't know, maybe there's a seed they might be planting there.
Well, this was not even their spot. I mean, this was the Gargano and Ciampa spot. They brought them up as a team. I think this was their spot. They were supposed to be the tag team, and I think with Ciampa's injury, they decided we're going to hold Gargano back and let him run with the belt. So I think these two lucked into this spot. And I say luck into it because, I mean, if Gargano and Ciampa have this spot, maybe these two don't even get on Mania. Maybe they're in the Battle Royal, So I think they're just running with it. I think they're actually a really good team. And that I like the match. That swing spot was beautiful. That, Cesaro just keeps going while Sheamus is beating ass. That was really cool. But, Usos win. I don't know. With what happened, not to spoil, but with what happened on the SmackDown show, I'm kind of like, why even bother keeping it on Usos? But, we'll move on. Let's get into, here's a polarizing match. Some people hated this. Some people loved this. Shane and The Miz.
I thought it was probably the best match on the damn card, really.
The best?
The most entertaining match for me. Well, that and the Triple H match, but to me, this.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about that, my friend.
I can't wait to talk about that one.
It just caught me on the screen, like I was just kind of glued to the screen with this one, and then the ending was fucking kind of crazy, and almost like damn. I expected to see Shane kind of go all out, but at the same time I didn't expect Miz to go all out, and I just liked it. I thought it was a good match.
So you're impressed with the Miz?
I was impressed with the Miz, right? Yeah, and Shane.
It's big because I know you're not a big Miz guy.
Yeah, but
can we all just stop for a second and just appreciate the amazing work given by Miz's dad? I mean, that acting is just exquisite. I mean, you don't see acting like that anymore.
It was funny. Yeah.
What got me is like when he first gets in the ring, he's just like he's just kind of standing there.
Yeah, he did have like that stone face on his look. He's just pretty much. But you can't really, poor guy. I feel like he's really his dad, though. And he's really like.
That's why it's believable. I mean, that's what your dad would do to protect you.
It didn't work. It didn't work so well that it worked. I mean, if that makes any sense, it just added to the match, and I thought it was one of the best matches of the night as far as entertaining. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really good. I thought that ending was pretty crazy and shit. As soon as I saw Shane climbing that scaffolding, I was like, here we go.
Right.
Fucking Shane's gonna fucking kill himself. So. I actually enjoyed it. I thought Miz did really good. One of my favorite spots is when fucking chunked Shane over the edge, and he hit that golf cart and then fell
Right,
another
and he
6
fell off.
feet.
Like that was kind of like because he
It was
fell head
because
first.
you couldn't see either how far he actually fell.
Right.
Yeah. And then once you saw it, it was just like, oh, damn.
Yeah, I thought Shane was like legit injured after that because, I mean, how could you not be? If you fall off a golf cart onto concrete, like, it just looked very bad.
Yeah, but it's Jay McMahon.
And he sold it pretty well. Like, he had this look on his face.
Pretty hard not to sell falling 6 feet on the concrete.
I like how they handled the ending, too, because Shane's supposed to be the heel here. And if you have Shane standing at the edge about to jump off of something onto Miz, people are going to cheer. People are going to be like, fuck yeah, here comes Shane doing his crazy WrestleMania stunt. We love you, Shane. But that's not the story, you know. You don't want them to love Shane. So I like how they set it up where it was the Miz that, you know, killed Shane. And, you know, I liked how they did the end where, you know, he killed himself also and he got himself beat, you know.
He lost
so
the
I like
match,
that.
right.
Yeah, so.
He still looks strong, but, you know, Shane still got the win.
What's Shane McMahon's WrestleMania streak? What's he at? What's his how many, because has he ever lost at WrestleMania? No, he hasn't, right?
He lost to The Undertaker.
Oh, that's true. No, you're right. Never mind.
I'm pretty sure. I think he lost to AJ Styles.
I'm looking for the next streak. Yeah, no, I'm looking for the next person with a streak who they're going to be like, oh, you know, this person's lost 0 matches.
I think they're going to have to
either
luck and mistake into that like they did with The Undertaker. Like they're going to look up 1 year and be like, oh shit, this guy's got, you know, I don't think they're trying to plan that.
I think like they're doing it with Finn Balor, maybe.
Didn't he? I don't think he's got a streak at Mania. Do you think? Does he have a streak? I have no idea.
The only streak that he has is that the Demon hasn't lost. That's the only streak he has going.
Yeah, which is why it was so smart of him not to be the Demon with Brock fucking Lesnar. But I digress. Hey, another one that you called, Mr. Warlocks, the Iconics.
I called that too.
Title.
I called that too. I did call that too.
Yeah.
I did. Yes, sir, I did.
But I was amazed to see it happen and then when it did happen, and like what Billy was crying, and then the other girl was like insulting her, and then when she got the belt, then she started crying. Like, man, I thought that whole thing almost made me cry, pretty much. Just watching them kind of, it was. It's
like, look, I know they're not the greatest
they were the
wrestlers on the planet,
right?
But the thing I like about the Iconics is, one, they're entertaining. Two, out of all those teams, they're the only team that felt like a team. They felt like a team. They seemed like a team. And three, to me, they stood out the most. They just stood out more than anything.
Because they're hotter than all of them. They're the hottest girls there. And that's pretty much plain and simple. That's why Carmella won. That's why fucking Iconics won. And that's why Becky Lynch won. Because
Wally Warlock's bringing you hard-hitting wrestling journalism.
Hard-hitting.
I can't wait till we get to WrestleMania. I'm about to rank these 3 women in order of hotness. Actually, that would be kind of fun, you know.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's get to it, man. This was, to me, undoubtedly the match of the night, the moment of the night. I thought this was fucking fantastic. Kofi Kingston beats Daniel Bryan for the belt.
Yeah, my favorite part was at the end.
Definitely match of the night. Obviously, match of the night.
My favorite part.
Chill out. Go ahead. Future. Let Wally speak.
Well, my favorite thing about the whole thing was just the end, you know, where the New Day is kind of like, I was surprised that they gave us like the Seth Rollins feel good moment, this feel good moment, like, and everyone crying, you know, the Iconics feel good moment. I didn't expect to see so many kind of like, you know, like the fans got what they wanted this WrestleMania. Everyone kind of got what they wanted as far as like Becky, Kofi Mania, all that. But my favorite part, hands down, of WrestleMania was probably Kofi Kingston's little son lifting the belt like over and then giving that face, like the stink face of just like, yeah, my dad's the shit. And that was pretty much my favorite part of WrestleMania.
His son is such a natural performer that you can already see that his son is going to be in the business. His son is going to do this, man. You can already tell.
Definitely going to be in the business.
But that was the best part of WrestleMania was Kofi Kingston winning that belt and everyone kind of around him and all that stuff. That was definitely dope.
I really liked the part where Xavier and Big E are over by the podium, and they unveil the title proper, you know, and already has Kofi's plates on it and everything. And I really like the emotion that Xavier was exhibiting and shit. He was so proud of his boy that his homeboy got the title and shit. And that's what I really like about that whole dynamic, you know, because in most instances they just break up the group or break up the tag team. But in this instance, they just straight up double down on that. You know, they're like, no, we're not breaking up.
Big E is gonna check Big E's. I almost kind of want to see Big E challenge for the belt.
Eventually, Big E's gonna break away. He is the breakaway star of that group. It's gonna happen. He's the young guy. He's got future world champion written all over him, so that's eventually gonna happen. But right now, it's all about Kofi.
No, but do you think he's gonna challenge Kofi for the belt? Challenge Kofi, like break up the New Day and challenge Kofi for the belt. Is what I'm saying.
If they're gonna do it, now be the time to do it. You know, because right now it's all downhill for Kofi. I mean, where do you go with Kofi from here? Honestly,
I thought he was about to lose it, pretty much at Raw. I thought they were gonna take it off him right at Raw. Really, I thought that's what was gonna happen. Like they were gonna give it to Seth, but I guess keep going, Troma. What about you, man?
I thought this was, you know, a great match. First of all, these two have great chemistry together. They when they did the Hell in a Cell, when they did the Gauntlet, these two always, you know, kill it together. I thought it was really well laid out. I liked the belt thing, but I thought the ending was really well done because there were parts where I almost I bit when Daniel Bryan went for a near fall, and I was thinking to myself, no fucking way they're gonna do this. They can't do this. What are they doing? And then, you know, Kofi would kick out, or then Daniel would kick out, and I would be like, holy shit, they're gonna do this. They're gonna keep the belt on Daniel, and, you know, and I like having that feeling, especially when it doesn't happen. So then I can, you know, still celebrate, but I still had the roller coaster. I did like the post match, but yeah, I kind of agree with Future Shock. I think this is as high as Kofi's going to get. It's going to be downhill from here, and I would have Big E absolutely just destroy him, and I would actually have Xavier be kind of Big E's mouthpiece because Xavier's a great talker. Big E, he's not the best talker, but can you see a Xavier coming out like, you know, we did this for you, you know, we won the gauntlet that got you into this. We stood by you, we supported you, and now, you know, now it's our time, you know, Big E's going to come for your head. And I think that would be a great way to break up the New Day and have a feud going, you know. And even if you want to take the belt off Kofi, you can have Big E or Xavier cost him the belt. And then you have a real personal blood feud without the title if you don't think he's a long-term champion. So I think there's a lot of places you can go with this.
Especially with the lineage they have now, you know, as long as the New Day's been around. In my opinion, I honestly thought they probably should have broke him up a year ago, but they managed to keep it going for another year. I don't know if they can keep it going any longer. I don't know. It's about running.
The thing is, the New Day, they sell T-shirts and they sell merch, and that's why the New Day's still together, and that's why they still keep them together, and that's why Kofi Kingston is champion, because New Day sells merch, and now Kofi, you know, with that new T-shirt, it was a New Day T-shirt, because, you know, because that shit sells to the kids. Kids are gonna go ahead and buy that, and I think Kofi is only started, you know, going on his trajectory up just now because, hey, look, he was on the fucking main event of Raw. He wasn't doing main events of Raw before, but now he is on the main event of Raw. So I think that he's definitely only getting started as far as kind of championship matches or
so you think matches. he's going to be a constant main eventer from here on out? You don't think in 6 months he's back to the mid card?
No, I think that he's going to be starting to have matches with AJ. I think he needs to break away from New Day to have that main event status, to have matches with AJ Styles, Randy Orton, whatever. But yeah, either way.
You don't see him being like a Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, Alberto Del Rio type, where a Sheamus, you know, where they can be the champ, and then, you know, a month later they're losing opening matches on Raw. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I see him. I see him as you can heat him up anytime you want and put him back into the main event, but I don't think he's going to be a perennial main event guy. I still don't look at him as a main event guy. You know, I look at it as like a he got hot and we're gonna thank you for your years of service with the title run.
I think just him being on the main event of Raw is, shows that they are going to go with him a little bit. So see where he can go. See how many more T-shirts he can sell. So
wrestling is crazy. I mean, if Royal Rumble time, I said, yo, Kofi Kingston's going to win the world title at WrestleMania, people would look at you and say, you're fucking crazy. Kofi Kingston is a mid-card comedy actor.
Did you notice how, like, in all the cutscenes, like backstage, how many of the black superstars were front and center of the fucking frame? Did you notice that? Like,
they were milking it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was WWE. They're going to be heavy-handed. They're going to milk it. But this was a legit moment for a lot of the black wrestling fans and the black wrestlers.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen these videos of like MVP and Shad and these guys? I mean, they're on their Twitter and people are filming them watching, and like you see MVP and he's just sitting there and there's fucking tears and Shad is openly weeping. I mean, emotion. I mean, these guys.
I have to say, the video package before the match was probably the best video package of the entire night. And that's one thing I've always loved about WWE is like the people they got doing their video package are just so awesome. Like as soon as that video was done, I was like, I'm ready, dude. I'm ready for Kofi to win this shit. Like they did a really good job on really getting you behind him and really portraying like all the shit he's done and all the awesome moments he's had.
11 years.
He really is a human highlight reel and shit. So I understand where he is right now and
but
shit. But
it's not like he hasn't had championships though. He's had intercontinental championship and heavyweight championship. I mean, that's more than some people get.
Tag titles, U.S. titles. I mean, he's always got the Royal Rumble spot. I mean, he's been featured. He's just never been the man.
Yeah, he's never been the guy. He's never been the main event star.
A long time ago, it looked like he was getting a push against Randy Orton, right? You guys remember that? And then I guess he had fucked up. Yeah. He fucked the spot up, and then Randy
killed the push.
Right.
I remember that. I thought it was his time also, but it was not meant to be.
Another thing that also got killed was the crowd after this match. After this match, I don't know what it was, but the crowd just never came back. I know what it was. Let's go through the next couple of matches. There was nothing to really get excited about. I mean, we went right to Joe squashing Mysterio in a minute. I mean, not only that, but we're at 5.5 hours at this point.
Well, we're not even at 5.5 at this point. I think we're only at maybe fucking 4 at this point.
So
either way, I get why people were tired. Shit.
The first time watching, I fell asleep the whole way through. Actually, like I would wake up and I'd be like, "Oh shoot, I hope I didn't miss like so and so match," and then I'd be like, I'd watch the entrance and I'd fall back asleep. But I had to watch it like the next day to kind of catch the entire show. But it was a long ass show, man. Like
you're right. I told Future, I was like, there's no way Adam didn't fall asleep like 3 or 4 times during this show. There was no doubt.
It's the only time we weren't going to give you shit because fuck, we all had trouble.
Even I said, yo, I don't fucking blame him for being passed out right now.
I don't blame anybody. Yeah. That was a long show. So
yeah, Joe squashed Mysterio. I loved it. Like, I agree with you. I think this is exactly what Joe needs, just to kill a motherfucker.
Yep. And it's because
and Ray was hurt anyway, so they couldn't do a long match because of Ray's knee.
Not only that, but it was good placement in the show. You just had this long, crazy, emotional match with Kofi and Daniel, and then you had fucking Joe come out and have a quick squash match and shit. It was good. It was really good. I think Joe got a lot from it. It didn't hurt Ray at all, not one bit. Mm-hmm. And, Joe looked like a fucking beast. He looked like a motherfucking monster. And I agree with both of y'all. This is what he needed big time. Big time.
So, yeah, I want to get into this. I thought this sucked. Roman and Drew.
Yeah.
Very disappointed in this match.
Yeah.
And, hey, let's be honest here. These people wanted to boo Roman Reigns here. I think they wanted to boo him so bad. they held back, but
They
because, but they also, the thing is, they didn't boo him, but they didn't fucking cheer him. So the place just was dead silent. I mean,
Yep.
if I was Roman Reigns, I would much rather people boo the shit out of me.
Well,
at least
they played
there's a
up the whole,
reaction, you know?
They played up the whole cancer thing in the fucking video package right beforehand and shit. So yeah, I mean, if
like
you
I
play
said,
that, if you play that and then boo right afterwards and shit, you know,
it's the crowd, though. I mean, if this
Yeah.
was a Raw
Yeah,
show,
it was.
who knows where, they would cheer him.
I feel like his opponent too
This
was
is the
really
smartest, the smarts.
his opponent too really wasn't like nothing to get invested into anyway. There was no history between him and Roman Reigns.
But
I feel like if they put
Roman
Dean Ambrose,
isn't Roman in the match is enough. I said, is this good
the
enough?
problem with this match was there was no build up. They had no time to build it up properly. And two, it was just way too predictable. Everybody knew Roman was going to win. It was obvious. He came back from fucking beating cancer and all that. It's WrestleMania. It's his first big fucking match. What do you think is going to happen? I think just the predictability alone hurt this match more than anything. Not only that, this is like a match you would see on Raw. Not even on a main event in Raw. A bad main event in Raw.
Roman's going to win at WrestleMania no matter who you put him in there against. I mean, at this point, there's nobody that you could put him in there that you're going to think they're going to beat Roman. I just think that, you know, this is the hardest of the hardcore fans. And yeah, they do not want to cheer Roman, but they don't want to boo him either. So they're just, you know, like, oh, let's just not do anything. And yeah, Drew wasn't the right opponent. You know, I think they should have went with Dean. At least there's a story there. There's the history.
Yeah.
I mean, and even if, like, you know, the crowd would get behind Dean and they know he's leaving. And I don't think, the thing is, this is not a Goldberg, Brock Lesnar situation where the crowd is like, fuck you for leaving. I think the crowd is like, you should leave, Dean. I think the crowd is behind him leaving because they know he's, you know, not being used properly. So I think.
Do you think that's probably why they didn't put him in the WrestleMania match against Roman?
Yeah,
because that would have gave the crowd more reason to boo Roman.
Why did they give him that much exposure too?
Why
would they
reward
give
him? We're not going to reward the guy that's walking out on you with his biggest match ever at Mania, you know?
Right.
They didn't even put him in the. Did they put him in the pre-show? Was he in the
They
pre-show?
didn't put him anywhere.
He wasn't anywhere. He wasn't even
mention him.
He wasn't even mentioned.
He was just persona non grata. And you know what? The match itself, too. I mean, if they went out there and they had a hoss fight and they killed each other, I mean, you can force the crowd to get into it. We saw this at Fastlane. The crowd did not want to get into that match because Kofi wasn't in it. The performers worked their ass off and they turned the crowd. And it's not like Roman's a bad performer. It's not like Drew's a bad performer. If they would have had a great match, they could have forced the crowd, you know, to at least care. But the match sucked. All they did, Drew beat on his ass forever, and then Roman just came back, spear, and pinned him. It's like, yeah, there was no back and forth. There was no near falls. There was no drama. When it ended, I was just like, oh, that's it. Like, there's no back and forth. It was just like, I'm going to beat your ass. You're going to spear me. It's over. Like, really? This sucked.
Yeah, I was into the match. But at the same time, we're not wrestlers, and we're not. Just let's remember that, gentlemen, that we are not stepping in that ring. Just so you know, sometimes I feel bad, like what Sami Zayn said on Raw, like, you know. Anyway, like I'm not trying to judge. We can't really say it sucks because we're not really in the ring, you know. Like we're not.
Yeah, but that's but we're fans, and you know we can give our opinion. I mean, you know, we don't have. And are you forgetting about his illustrious wrestling career?
Yeah.
One
match.
Remember his speech about
one match. Fuck you.
Remember when we introduced him to the audience and he said, you know, being the only man here with in-ring experience. So yeah. So
hey, I admitted I was man enough and I admitted that I never drew not one fucking dollar, and I never fucking drew one fucking ticket. So okay, so I was never a fucking draw. I never fucking drew a dollar. I never made a dollar. So I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm just saying I've been there and done that.
It's okay. Yo, we got a real wrestler, KJ Crusher. Once his schedule becomes free, we're replacing you with him. But let's move on. I'm just kidding, bro. Look at his face. God, look at his face. All right, yo, I want to give Wally the floor here.
What's
because Triple H is your man.
Yeah.
You seem to think this match was good. So I'm going to shut the fuck up. I'm going to ask my friend.
First of all, I thought the involvement of Ric Flair.
That beats me.
All right. Number one, the brutality of both, of just like, first, finally, a hard-hitting match. Like, finally, it looks like some motherfuckers are hitting each other. With Batista, the way Batista came out with that spear at the beginning, and I just thought, don't laugh at me right now, all right?
Hey, I'm trying so hard.
Shut up.
Try your best.
And then he ripped the ring. First of all, he was like mashing his fingers, and you could see like his fingers getting mashed up. All right, stop laughing. Stop.
I'm picturing in my head like what was when it was happening.
Yeah, no, and you know, like that looked very painful, man. It looked, first of all, he like slammed Batista. Like, Batista's an actor, man. Batista's like he hasn't been in the ring for how long, and Batista took a powerbomb off the damn rope, man, like onto the steps, and then he ripped the ring out of Batista's nose, which was like, damn. Then you can see like the blood like leaking for the rest of the match, bro. Stop laughing at me.
Not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Troma.
All right, fuck you guys. All right.
No. Okay, do you want to go, Future Shock?
I don't want to go anymore.
This match was like a love-hate relationship for me. I loved and hated it at the same time. I loved a lot of the moments. I loved the nose ring bit. I thought that was really cool. I loved the pliers and the fingers bit. I thought that was really cool. Seeing Batista
was the coolest entrance of the entire
until he tripped. Until he tripped.
Yeah. When did he trip?
Yes, he tripped. He tripped getting into the ring.
He fell.
Another thing that kind of killed it for me, and it was in Batista's entrance, is when he got in the ring after he gathered himself composure and shit. He's all walking.
He got into the ring. He literally tripped, get into the ropes, and he like fell and like he was on all fours, and then he got back up. He tripped on the rope, getting in the ring.
He was top heavy. He went over his center.
That's why it's that big meme going around with him falling that says "Avenge the Fallen" with the Avengers.
Yeah, I saw that. But yeah, what kind of killed it for me after that, he's walking around the ring and he's looking at the ref and shit, and he's all smiling and look like he's joking with him, and I'm like, dude, aren't you like really mad at Triple H right now? It's like, what the hell? But other than that, like other than those moments I mentioned, I like that. My biggest gripe is that this match just, at moments, it just drug the fuck out. It just went on way longer than I think it should have. Like I said, this match was kind of like a 50-50 for me. I loved it, and I also hated it. So that's my opinion.
I didn't expect Triple H to win. I really thought Triple H was going to lose. But at the same time, I didn't mind Triple H losing to Batista because I felt like it's almost, Triple H almost groomed Batista to be the one to take him out, like, down the line, with Evolution and whatnot. That's almost what Evolution was about. I love that.
I think this is Batista just wanting to go out the way he wanted to go out.
Yeah, this is how he retired right after the match. So he wanted, his friend to put him out.
Yeah, exactly. He wanted to put over his best friend and shit. And obviously Triple H ain't done. He's still got a few more years left in him. So we're still going to get some extravagant entrance. He's still going to be king of the WrestleMania entrance now for the next few years.
I thought Batista looked great though. I thought like with the new tattoos and stuff, and like I just thought like, damn, I wouldn't mind to see Batista. He took some pretty gnarly bumps too.
He had a rough start. He had to shake some of those cobwebs out, but as the match started getting going, he looked like good old Batista out there after a while. So, like I said, the good parts of this match I really enjoyed. It was like a really old school Attitude Era kind of feel to it. So I liked it, when it came to that. Other than that, I thought it went a little bit too long. I wish it was just short.
I was disappointed in Triple H's entrance. I think it was like his entrances are like so behind the times. Like he's like, I'm gonna do a Terminator entrance like 5 years after the Terminator was popular. Now he's like, I'm gonna do Mad Max. It's like no one's into Mad Max anymore. And I thought it was one of his very weaker entrances. I thought the match. I will give Batista all the fucking credit in the world. He was not half-assing it. That fucking power bomb onto the steps. Oh my fucking God. Yeah. How did his Hollywood agent clear that? That's what they were killing each other. Those fucking tables were like, yeah, but when you're Batista, they would not break.
When he took the backdrop on the table, and the
table
didn't break.
These fucking tables would not budge. I mean, I don't think that spear spot was planned. I think they were just like, we need to break this fucking table, so let's both jump through it at the same fucking time. Like, they killed each other. Some spots I thought, just made me laugh. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when he was pulling that fucking nose ring out, I was laughing my ass off. I couldn't take that seriously. But I mean, I thought they had some nice brutal bumps. I like the involvement of Flair. I like Batista was gassed. You expect that. He was gassed. Yeah. He was tired.
I mean, they went for 30 minutes,
Yeah, so. That's the problem. There were times in this match, where Batista was very lost. I mean, there was a lot of times where Batista was just looking around, and you could tell, like, he was thinking, where do we go now? What's the next spot? He was kind of lost at times. But I thought they did okay. The problem is Triple H does not need to have 30-minute, epics every WrestleMania. He thinks that he's in there with The Undertaker every year, and he can have these slow, methodical 30-minute epic matches, but it doesn't work, and like every year it just gets worse. It gets slower, it gets longer, and I just thought that if they would have wrapped this match, if they cut half the time, if they went 15 minutes, I'd love it.
If you were in his position, you'd be working just as long. You'd be in there just as long. If
I was in this position, I would not want to embarrass myself, and I would maximize my effort in 15 minutes rather than trying to go 30.
I don't think he embarrassed himself either. Yeah. I don't think either of them embarrassed himself. I think at the end of the day, nobody looked bad. Nobody looked any better. Everybody just kind of fine. It's fine. It is what it is.
Kind of made it too predictable because, like, besides Adam, I don't think anyone thought that Triple H was losing his career here. And then you put your career right, and then right after you go right to the Kurt Angle career match. So I mean, the placement to me felt kind of off too. You're going from career right to the next career. But I mean, yeah, if we're done with this, we can go to Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin.
Which was a match I kind of wanted to get it over with. I was just like, come on, can we get to the main event
already?
Worst
match of the night.
Yeah, I was just like, come on.
See, now we're opposite because I actually kind of liked it.
Really? Why? What did you like about it?
It exceeded my, albeit very low, expectations. I mean, I thought they worked hard. I mean, I think they gave Angle enough. I think the crowd, sure, they hated the opponent. But I mean, I think once, Angle got going and they were like, okay, this is Angle's last match. We're not going to shit on it. We're going to support Angle. I thought Angle went crazy. I love that he went with the moonsault, and I love that he missed because he always misses. I didn't want him to hit the moonsault and go out. I wanted him to fucking miss, and he did. Almost fell on his head and broke his neck, but he did, Yeah. And I thought it was great. I mean, I think your idea was a lot better that if Corbin just went in and murdered him, but if you're not going to do that, I think for the time they had, and compared to how he's looked recently, I thought he looked great. I thought Corbin was adequate, and I like the clean finish. I like Corbin poking the bear. I like Corbin doing the "you can't see me" because everyone wanted Cena to be opponent. So I actually thought that this, for what they did, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Let's talk about the return of the Thuganomics, which was fucking amazing. The return of John Cena coming out like against Elias, right? Did we miss that?
He interrupted Elias's. I think that happened right now, actually.
Oh, did it? Oh, excellent. Yeah. Well, I thought that was amazing. I thought his raps were fucking awesome. I thought he said something about like
he was turning it around on himself. He was turning it around on himself. That like, he was being
Cena's
brilliant.
About to turn heel, you're in the ring while Cena's turning heel, and it was just like, oh my god.
It's like about how his movies suck.
Right?
Yeah. He had the shovel to bury you.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
You're just a half a shit too.
Yeah. He busted out his peanuts and shit and talked about like. Yeah.
I thought that was great. I thought that was a great, like, that got me excited again and recharged my batteries for
the best part when he said he's not getting an AA tonight, he's getting an FU.
Right. Yeah.
That was so awesome.
Like, how John Cena puts on a fucking backwards hat and he looks 10 years younger.
Exactly.
Yeah. He takes off the hat. He looks like an old fucking man. He looks so young. Like, you know, even my girl, she
looks
never,
like JBL's little brother.
I've never seen old John Cena. Even she was like, yo, I like this John Cena, you know. I'm like, yo, this is why John Cena was the biggest star in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
This character got him so loved, you know, that he blew up doing this character, you know. I mean, they moved on from it,
Well,
and it should have. It has a shelf life, but you know, this kind of return. I mean, if he's not going to have a match, I think this was the best thing they could have done with John Cena.
Anytime he's freestyling, I definitely want to hear it because he's great when he's freestyling. The last time he did it was against The Rock, and I thought it was great then. And like, and this time it was great. And I think like just him coming back as like the rapping dude. I don't think they're gonna do it, but I think it was just a great throwback, and it makes me want to go back and like hear all the best like John Cena freestyles kind of thing. Like just probably look it up on YouTube or.
It's great because John Cena can actually rap. You know, I mean, John Cena's album is fucking banging.
I have that shit actually.
It's banging, yo. I mean,
it's in my car.
I play that for people at work, and they're like, "That's John Cena. That shit is banging," you know. So yeah, that boy can flow. So that's the real him too. You know, that's John Cena. That's the real John Cena. You know, he morphed into this character that he is now, but that was the real John Cena.
I feel like the real John Cena is the John Cena you see on the Bella Twins or the Bella Show, okay, which is him like.
Well, let me rephrase. That was the real young John Cena before he got all that money and all that fame and all that pussy.
Right. That was John Cena. That was the John Cena that got John Cena over.
Balor and Lashley.
Honestly, I took a shower during this match. I didn't even watch it.
Contacts.
He did look cool with the contacts.
It kind of looked like a monster versus monster thing going.
It did. I was mentioning that with my fiance when we were watching. I was just like, I like the contacts. It's like, okay, maybe we got something here. Maybe we can monster him up a little bit more, add just a little bit more, keep the contacts and just have him be a fucking monster. Keep Leo Rush as his fucking mouthpiece and just annoying the shit out of people.
That kind of
have something here.
That kind of goes to the point with what Wally always talking about, like, how fucking bland is Bobby Lashley that you put some contacts in him and all of a sudden everyone's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
How bland are you that some contacts in there? That's all anyone's talking about. Like, holy shit, you see his eyes, like, how fucking bland are you?
But they didn't keep the contacts on him the next night in Raw. Like he was just regular. Yeah, just a regular Leo.
Those are his WrestleMania contact.
Yeah, right.
I thought they tried hard. They were in the death spot. Right before the main event.
They were.
That is the death spot. But they busted ass. I mean, this was their best match together. Lashley did the fucking Big E spear, almost killed himself.
Yeah.
They were working fast. They were going 100 miles an hour.
The power bomb by Finn Balor was really awesome.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
I caught that. Like he tried with the power bomb and then finally got.
Well, that's what a lot of people have been wanting. It's just like we love the Demon, but it'd be kind of cool to see the Demon kind of have a somewhat different moveset than Finn Balor. That way, it doesn't feel like we're watching the same guy.
Right.
So when he did. When we saw the power bomb, it was like, okay, it's just like, here's a little bit of that. It's just like, all right, give us some more, have him do like big impossible moves like that only the Demon can do. And I think it would just add that much more to the Demon character.
That's how it would be. Like in New Japan, when he was the Demon, he wasn't called the Demon, but basically, he would wrestle as Prince Devitt. And then when the big blood feud matches and main events came, he would get all painted up as, what they personify as the Demon. But when he was the Demon, he was a bloodthirsty heel. He would cheat. He would be, and when he was Prince Devitt, he was just a great high-flying cruiserweight. When he was the
still a heel during Prince Devitt,
he was still a heel, but he wasn't like, he was like the heel that could win without.
He wasn't vicious.
He was a great wrestler,
he wasn't vicious.
Like he still did Omega kind of heel that could still win cleanly.
Yeah, he was like a playful kind of heel when he was Prince Devitt, but when he was the Demon, that's when he was vicious. That's when
he's a face vicious now, though. He's like the face of the face now.
So it's like, what do you do with a face besides just make him more aggressive, So I like that they made him more aggressive. He was working like with a purpose, He was working quick, like he was out to kill,
Right.
So I like
well,
that.
they got to make it seem more like than it's just the paint that makes him win. You know,
that's what
have it make the like
that is the whole
the
story.
whole
I know it is, but like you can't make it so blatantly obvious
it's not
that
like he's an actual
paint,
separate character. He's just he puts the paint on, he becomes something else, right? That's
another
saying.
thing I don't like. It's like I don't like them using it, but they established it. That's why I was disappointed he didn't come out with it for Brock, because they established that he does it for big matches. So when he didn't do it for that Mania and he didn't do it against Brock, I was like, why wouldn't he do it? This is the biggest matches.
Right.
I think it should be he does it in blood feuds when he has nowhere left to go, when he has to resort to it, you know. And this feud has been going on long enough where I think that he wants to just end this shit with Lashley, and the way to do it is to bring out the Demon, you know, kill Lashley, and now he can move on. So I thought it was pretty good.
And it works. It works too when you're going up against a guy like Lashley, a guy that's like twice, almost three times your fucking size and shit. So yeah, I agree with the move of making it
contacts.
Contacts.
It makes Finn Balor the Demon. What do the contacts make Lashley?
Still shitty.
A juiced up imp.
All right.
Sorry.
But I had nothing better, so I will take it. I totally put that on y'all because I couldn't think of nothing either. Main event. What's up?
I guess I'll go.
Oh,
I liked it. I was a little disappointed.
By what?
Really sucked. I guess I just had really high expectations for this match, especially coming.
I don't all out, man. Like
they did go all out. They did go all out, but they had some some unfortunate circumstance happen. Like the table didn't break properly.
Well, that's not their fault. The table.
Yeah, I know that's not their fault, but it just always sucks. In any match, when the damn fucking props don't work.
So was it a botch? Was the ending botched? No. Not? Was the ending botched or not?
I don't know. It was just so abrupt that it did feel like a botch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and
was it a botch?
If it was a botch, then because the way it ended, if you look at it, like her shoulders she wasn't even flat down.
But he counted twice. He hit four times.
Though. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking. Was that the ending? And the ref recognized that, her shoulders weren't down, but it's the end, so I'm going to count anyway. I mean, I looked at it like that, like, all right, they fucked the ending up, but it was supposed to be the ending, or why would the ref keep counting, though, if it wasn't the ending, But then I think to myself, why would you end it like that? Why would you beat Ronda? Why would you not have a submission when all three are known for their submissions, And then all of a sudden this story comes out that the referee was fined for, the botched ending. But that could easily be a story that the WWE leaked to make it seem like it. Did they like to kind of work you once in a while? But then, so I think that was the ending. I think they fucked it up. And then they're using this as to cover it up. Because if you look at it, I thought that would be a great ending. She goes for a finisher. She gets crucifixed. She gets a flash pin. It doesn't hurt her. She just got caught. But
yeah, I understand the ending.
Very badly. Like, she wasn't flat. She looked like she was laying on top. It looked bad, and it made a bad taste in
at the end of the day, I think it was, the plan finished. I get the whole abrupt ending, especially on someone like Ronda, because that isn't going to hurt her, she's still going to look strong at the end of the day. And you could tell, her reaction, she was like, what the fuck? Like, what? You just beat me? Like she was still ready to go.
Pissed after the match.
Yeah.
But my question is she legit pissed because the ending was wrong, or is she legit pissed because she knows it looked shitty? She knows it looked really bad.
I think that they had a plan for an ending, and it just didn't turn out the way they thought it was going to turn out. I think that's what happened.
To end WrestleMania on a fucking roll up, it just doesn't to end WrestleMania.
Well, here's another thing that I kind of had a problem with the match, and why I think it could have been better, because it was kind of supposed to be all about Becky. We all wanted Becky to win. Almost it was kind of like the Kofi story and shit. And like the storytelling in this match, I really didn't get that. Like I really didn't get like that underdog feel from Becky. It just felt like, you know, they were just kind of beating the shit out of each other. Like they were taking turns. It's like, okay, it's our turn to beat the shit out of each other. Okay, okay, now it's our turn to beat the shit out of each other.
Becky's booked as like the fucking.
I understand that, but like,
man, she's not an underdog.
The authority's holding her down.
Yeah,
and
I get that, but like, I didn't feel like there was any really storytelling in this match. It was just three chicks just beating the shit out of each other, and which that's fine. I like that. It was
that was the story.
Yeah, I understand that was the story. I don't know. It's just like I feel like it was missing something, and it could have been a lot.
They were going hard. Ronda in particular was going fucking hard.
Did you see her leg?
She was all bruised up. She was cut.
Yeah.
She broke her fucking hand in the match, like legit.
I heard about that.
Hand. Yeah. She was going hard, and you know, she broke her hand. Becky was going hard. Charlotte, like you called it, well, like she held this match together. She was the glue. Yeah. She held the whole match together. I mean, I was not disappointed in the match at all. I was disappointed in the finish. I thought the match was really strong. I thought it was a fitting main event. I thought they
I'm not saying I didn't like the match. I really liked the match. I really enjoyed the match. I'm just saying I think it could have been I think it could have been better. I think they could have went at least another 5-10 minutes.
I think didn't it end half an hour early? So I heard that
the official time was 7 hours and 25 minutes. So it went just under 7.5 hours.
I think the show went a half an hour late, actually, because I think they wanted everyone out at midnight because the last train stopped at 1 a.m. and they ended up going till 12:30. And, you know, like Future was saying, thousands and thousands of people were stuck out there in New Jersey because the trains fucking stopped running because they ran through. So I do think this match probably would have gone another 5-10 minutes, but they were like, we need to get the fuck out of here because we're already running so late.
Well, you know, apparently,
it shaved fucking 10 minutes off of his match.
Well, Brian Alvarez was saying that when he was there, that pretty much just as the main event started, that's when they started leaving, and obviously, it went like this through the entire arena. But he said like where he was, that people were just leaving in droves. And hell, he didn't get back home till like almost 3 o'clock in the morning and shit. And there were still people, like thousands of people, waiting in the Uber lines at the arena because around that area, all the Ubers were only going to the arena and shit, and people were waiting hours upon hours in the fucking rain.
Like $200. You know, if you had a car, you're charging $200 to drive someone home. You know, like if you had a car, you were making some bank. But I mean, so. This is a problem they're going to have to face. I mean, people come from all over the world and pay thousands of dollars to come to these shows. And then after the show, they're just fucked, you know, because you're putting your main event into the ring, you know, after midnight when the last trains are at 1 a.m, you know. And
well, apparently everybody's saying that if you're going to go to these big shows, this shit is going to happen. And if you do go to these big shows, take a bus. Apparently, the best thing to do is take a bus.
They did it for years. They had 4-hour WrestleManias. They had 5-hour WrestleManias. We don't need 7.5-hour WrestleManias.
That's when they're on the net. They have their own network now. So
they can go as long as they
want. Exactly. So they don't care.
Yeah, but just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should.
Well, I mean, in a city like New York, I'd expect the trains to be running all night long. Really. So.
Didn't you live there, man?
Yeah, I've lived there for 14 years. So I'm just saying, in New York City, you expect.
Yeah, I thought it was the city that never sleeps. Right. I guess the train sleeps.
The train's gotta sleep.
Yeah,
you know?
The train gotta get some sleep,
all right,
man.
Overall thoughts, WrestleMania. Overall thoughts. What'd you think?
My opinion. Overall, it was a better show than I thought it was going to be. My expectations for the show was really, really low. Like I was saying before. It was one of the most least hyped WrestleManias that I've ever experienced. I wouldn't have had any qualms if I missed this year, to be honest with you. But I'm glad I didn't. There was some really good moments. There was some good matches and shit. I thought the ending of the whole show was kind of shitty. Other than that, I think it could have. There was way worse WrestleManias, but there's been way better too. So I think as far as like my scoring, I give it a 6.5 out of 10.
I feel like you could cut the card in half. Take the women's tag match out. Take the take the tag, the 4-way tag match out, take the Kurt Angle match and Lashley match and yeah, I mean, pretty much you cut those matches, maybe one other match, cut those all, you know, and it could have been a better show if you, less is more pretty much with this show. Like, less could have been more. And it was hard to just be like, man, I got to watch this shit all day, you know? So yeah, that's pretty much it. So, but Hall of Fame was fun. Yeah,
Can I give my thoughts?
I give it the same 6 out of 5.
6 out of 5? Well, that's a really good show, dude. Damn, best WrestleMania ever. 6 out of 5.
Yeah, stick with it.
There's nothing, you know, that I can say that y'all haven't said. I can say that it's weird because I'm one of those guys that every year is like, you know, stop bringing back the legends, stop bringing back all these guys, let the young guys have the show, let them have their shot. And then but then this year you become so conditioned to WrestleMania being such a big show that it's very noticeable that there was no Undertaker, you know? It's very noticeable that
the next night.
I was very surprised that he did. I was very surprised that we didn't hear the Dome.
John Cena match, you know? There's no, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of noticed that even the matches, like there wasn't a lot of big marquee, can't miss, oh my god matches on this show. I
feel like if they could have had Batista versus Brock Lesnar would have been a great match.
And that's a match from we never saw when both guys were, you know, in their prime, and a match a lot of people wanted to see. But, you know, Batista wanted to go with his buddy for his last match, you know, so, you know, whatever. But, I mean, it was okay. I'm not going to go as high as you guys. I'll maybe like a 5 out of 10. I mean, I think it was very average. And it's a real problem. I mean, this is WrestleMania. This is supposed to be like our favorite night of the year. And when we're all going into it like, fuck, this is going to take all day, you know, when you're just dreading having to sit there and watch WrestleMania, that's a fucking problem. And I think we all were dreading having to sit there and watch WrestleMania. So, yeah.
Not only that, but, you know, with my schedule, you know, I was coming off a 12-hour workday, so I was basically going into another fucking 8-hour workday. I mean,
that's the hardest working man in podcasting right here.
That's what it really felt like, and like you said, that kind of sucks because I remember every year getting really, really hyped. You know, this time of year, just really fucking hyped, not just for WrestleMania, but for all the big shows that go on around this time of year. But, like, this year was just, like, going into it, I really wanted to get hype. I hoping they were going to do something, and just all the way up to the show, it's just like, well, here we go. Let's hope it's a good show. That's just kind of the feeling I had going into it.
Warlocks. Can we get a time check?
Yeah, we're at 120.
Damn, we're at 1 fucking
wow.
118, yeah.
God. 118. Well, you know what? It's a special show, so fucking deal with it, everyone. We're going to quickly go through NXT, quickly go to the Hall of Fame. He wants to talk about Raw, and we'll get the fuck out of here. You want to do NXT or Hall of Fame first? I didn't watch the Hall of Fame, so...
I didn't watch the Hall of Fame
Okay, so this is your time to shine, Mr. Warlock.
Pretty much the Hall of Fame was all right. It was fun. I thought Brutus the Barber Beefcake was cool to watch in the Hall of Fame. Hearing him the DX thing was the best part to watch. It was fun. It was cool just hearing all DX say their piece, and then they did the whole China thing at the end, and you know, it was...
And Triple H was taking shots at AEW the whole time.
Yeah, so...
he said something like what happened, Billy was... I read that Billy was making jokes about, you can't fire me, and then Triple H said, like, Vince will buy that little pissant company just to fire you again, or something like that.
Did he say?
That's what I read on the recap. That's a good line.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels said something like, "Oh, Billy, we appreciate you being here and being all in," kind of thing, and the whole crowd went, "Oh," you know, like, and then like, yeah, I mean, it was funny. They did the same old like DX antics, you know, the super soakers and shit like that, and the super soakers just dribbled out a little bit, and It was, it's just jokes.
And they said Vince McMahon's name too, didn't they?
Yeah, a bunch of times.
Which is like the number one rule at the Hall of Fame
yeah.
is not to say Vince McMahon's name.
They said it like as many times as they pretty much could. So.
It's obvious that Sean and DX can do whatever they want. Did you see what fucking Sean was wearing during the pre-show? Jesus fucking Christ, this guy with his goddamn tie, NXT hat with no shirt on, like,
yeah.
Goddamn Shawn Michaels. Hall of Fame. What about fucking Brett being attacked by that fan?
Oh, I didn't see that.
That was nuts.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Did they cut that off of the live?
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they apparently they cut off immediately. Of course, just like always in a situation like that. But of course, you can go online and see the video. They obviously cut the entire thing from the replays and shit. So, but yeah, like if you go and watch the fan video, it's kind of like from the side of the ring and shit when it happened and shit as they're pulling the guy out.
All the way in the ring.
He got his ass beat.
He got his ass beat. Like all the wrestlers jumped the rail.
All the boys jumped in and beat the shit out of him.
Over the rail, into the ring, and was at Brett before they touched him. And it could have been bad because
could have been really bad.
This guy is a legit. He's an MMA fighter. He's a professional MMA fighter. So if he would have got some shot offs, he could have fucked Brett up. I mean, this is an old man who's had strokes and shit.
Not only that, but it could have been. It could have been somebody crazy. He could have had a knife. He could have had a gun. I mean, there's no telling. I mean, it could have been ended up being a really serious match situation.
The ring was open on the end, right? So like you could.
They're not doing that anymore. I guarantee you.
No.
That is over with. That open ring shit is done. They're going back to the stage after this year. But they said this crazy motherfucker. He's been like tweeting all kinds of crazy shit at like Triple H and like Stephanie McMahon, and like they saying that they think he went nuts because he was pissed off that the women were main eventing WrestleMania.
He also has a prior arrest record for stalking too.
Yeah, he tweeted like Triple H about you're gonna regret the day that you let the women main event WrestleMania, and
wow.
Yeah, like crazy shit like that. So yeah, psycho. Let's
see if we
run
can
through
get him.
NXT real quick. Yeah, let's get him on the show.
Shit.
That'd be crazy to get like somebody who ran into a ring on the show just to like be like, yo, what the fuck are you thinking, bro? Like,
yo, who was it? The guy. You know what's fucked up? They punished the Revival, but it was Dash Wilder who got the cleanest shot on this guy.
Yeah.
Like, Dash Wilder pretty much knocked this guy the fuck out. Like he got that clean shot that put this guy down. And this guy's an MMA fighter, so he has a chin. So Dash can fucking punch, yo.
Well,
NXT, War Raiders, Black and Ricochet. Yo, this match was fucking bonkers. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Dude,
dope.
that crowd, that NXT crowd, just that throughout that whole show, fuck, man, they made that show, man. That crowd was on fire, dude, especially this opening match.
You watched NXT after Mania like I did, right, Wally?
Right.
So didn't that make you like, doesn't that kind of trip you out when you're like, yo, this is the same crowd, this is the same company? Like, it fucking blows my mind, man, to see
it's
that.
Not the same company, really, and it's not the same crowd because there are two different arenas, really. So one is at the Barclays Center, and
people that go to NXT that are going to WrestleMania.
Yeah, but it's a different crowd of people. It's a different, there's a.
It is a more intense crowd.
It's
a more hardcore fan base.
So
yeah.
I mean, they're gonna be into no matter. They're gonna be into
the hardcores. It's like
they're gonna be into whatever you put in front of them. Really, like they're gonna mark out for anything. Just like no matter what, I'm gonna mark out for Triple H.
Good. I mean, if it's shit, they will shit on it. I mean,
but the thing is,
they shit on shitty things at NXT all the time. They shit on Baron Corbin. If they don't like it, they'll shit on it.
The thing is with NXT though, like all those cats are young, hungry dudes who are looking for the opportunity to shine in front of the right crowd. So I feel like if you put those hungry dudes in front of the NXT crowd, the hardcore fan, like they're just going to give the fan what they want, really, which is that performance.
I think Hanson in particular.
Oh man,
fucking incredible.
Hell of a performance.
I mean, for his size, like I think he could be a breakout singles guy because he can do.
He should not be able to move like that.
Yeah,
I don't like the War Raiders gimmick. Like, I feel like it's so kind of like, ugh. I don't know. There's something about their gimmick that I just leave something. It just feels like very, like that old school WWE, like Doink the Clown kind of like, you know, now all of a sudden we got this Viking that's, you know what I'm saying? That's just a war. It's just, I don't know.
I
really hate.
I'm just used to it because I've been seeing them do this gimmick for so long. You know, I can't really see him in any other gimmick.
War Machine too. Like I'm still not used to War Raiders. I'm still catching myself calling them War Machine. That's just such a way better name for them, I think. But can't have War Machine and heavy machinery.
Well, no, there's actually a UFC fighter named War Machine who beat the living shit out of his porn star girlfriend and went to jail. So can't use War Machine.
Okay.
Dream and Riddle, another fucking dope match. I mean,
what I loved about this match, what I really loved about this match, because both these guys kind of went in like a baby face, right? Mm-hmm. And somebody had to take the heel fucking job. So, and to see Matt Riddle just to like gradually get more and more pissed off in that match, you know, because he was just throwing everything at fucking Dream and nothing was working. And just like Matt Riddle really made kind of a big fan out of me in this fucking match. And I've always liked that.
A big fan of Matt Riddle.
I like Matt Riddle, but
fuck you up.
I was a big fan of Matt Riddle. I'm still a big fan of Matt Riddle. I think Matt Riddle's a big part of the future.
You were a big fan of Matt Riddle since he went to NXT.
Yeah, so what?
No, I'm just saying, like, don't be like, I was always a fan of Matt Riddle, didn't even know who he was till he got signed.
Right, so since I found out, the first time I saw Matt Riddle perform, I've been a fan of him. All right, motherfucker. All right, stop hating me. All right,
I like the finish too. I like that. Yo, I'm on prescription medication, so you got to excuse me. Yeah. I should not be drinking right now.
You shouldn't.
I like the finish too. It keeps everyone protected. Let's go on. Oh, Dunn and Walter. Yo, you never seen Walter before, though.
I fell asleep at this point. I fell asleep with him.
Woo. Yeah, you missed it. This match you better go back and watch this.
All right.
This was a fucking banger. Walter won. Great match. Let's just through it. Baszler won over Belair, Shirai, and Sane. Let's just go right to the main event. Gargano and Adam Cole. This might be my favorite match of the whole weekend. I thought this was phenomenal.
Who won this match? Who won this match?
Did you fall asleep for this too?
Yeah. I fell asleep.
I agree, especially with the fact that they had very little build up to it. It was supposed to be, Gargano and
Ciampa, right?
It was just like, hey, 2 out of 3 falls go out. This shows you, like, when you have two great wrestlers, they can make up for a lack of story. And that ending where Ciampa came out and I was like, okay, if Ciampa can't go for another year, this is how you end the story. Fuck it. They reunited, they hugged, happy ending. I like that a lot.
Ciampa can't go for another year? He's out for a year?
Ciampa's neck is all fucked up. He's out for at least, 8 months. Yo, talk about shitty of luck. Right. I mean, every time this guy gets going, something happens. What's going to happen? They're going to label him injury prone, and they might, turn him into their fucking Corey Graves, which sucks for him.
That's the thing with a lot of these, younger guys, with this hard hitting style that they have. These guys, are typically, not even in the prime of their careers, and they're getting they got these massive injuries, that guys, back in the day, didn't receive until they were into their fucking way past their prime.
That's why I would never shit on a guy like Joey Ryan, who can get all the bookings all over the world and make all this money by, flipping people with his dick,
Yeah.
I'm not Joey Ryan. He can make as much money doing what he's doing as Will Ospreay can for landing on his fucking head every night. More fucking power to him, shit. He's found a loophole, I'm not gonna say, he's wrong.
Well,
no, especially if it's getting over and the crowd likes it, because that's the thing about wrestling.
The crowd likes it. matter, you know.
The fans always determine where fucking wrestling is gonna go, and that's how it's always been, and that's how it's always gonna be and shit. And as much as people like Vince McMahon try to fight against it, eventually he gives in to certain things. He gave in to Kofi, he gave in to Becky Lynch. I mean, that's just the way the business is, you know.
You guys see Jim Ross came out and said that AEW is gonna have a 2-hour weekly broadcast on a. Did you see that?
No, I did not see that, but I'm not super happy about the Jim Ross signing. I think I'm kind of over Jim Ross. I think he's lost it, and I don't think, yeah, you can look at me all that way you want, though, but I mean, were you watching the New Japan show weekly with Jim Ross? I mean, he was not
that's
good.
Jim Ross in Japan, though. Like,
okay, but what's the difference? These are all the guys from Japan that's in AEW.
He just,
not guys he's familiar with.
Yeah, if he's not familiar with the guys and familiar with the moves, with the stories, there's so much he can do. And
I think he brings a lot.
I am not taking anything away from JR.
I think he brings a lot to the table.
I think JR is the greatest commentator of all time.
We're going to do an AEW show. We're like 25 hours into this.
Yeah, an hour and a half.
Talk about Raw. If there's anything you want to say, let's get the fuck out of here.
Nothing really.
When we come back, we're going to do an entire show just on AEW for all you motherfuckers.
Nothing I want to say about Raw other than...
There's nothing you want to say about Raw?
Well, other than I thought like Kofi and Seth were going to, you know... They fucked me at the ending, you know, like they fucked me. The Lars.
They fucked
think they were gonna do that?
They fucked him, Troma. They fucked him.
Yeah, shut up.
Oh, did they at least kiss you first?
I thought Lars. Yeah. All right, that's it for this week.
Yo, thank you all for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
We're gonna talk and decide when we're gonna do this AEW show, and we'll fucking be back, y'all.
All right. Peace.